Theme 1. Basic Science. Sub-Theme 1. Learning about our environment. Topic 1. Family Health. Introduction. Health is the absence of illness. It is important you live a healthy life, as this determines every other area of your life. You are living a healthy life when you maintain good feeding habits, practice general body cleanliness, and abstain from drug abuse. In this topic, you will learn how to live a healthy lifestyle. Unit 1. Sanitation and its importance. Sanitation involves the proper disposal of waste, both solid waste and sewage, and the maintenance of cleanliness during food preparation. Sewage is liquid or water containing waste generated at home and in the industry. Examples of sewage are urine and feces. Any waste that does not contain water is called a solid waste. An example of solid waste is refuse. In order to maintain a clean environment, sewage and refuse should be properly disposed. A sewage and its disposal. To avoid the spread of germs and diseases, it is important that feces and urine are properly disposed of. This is because when flies that have perched on urine and feces perch on food, they can contaminate the food. Never dispose of your urine and feces in water bodies, river, stream, pond, etc., drainages and bushes. You can dispose of your sewage in any of the following. 1. Pit latrine, toilet. This is the simplest form of toilet. It is made by digging a large and deep hole in the ground. Pit latrine should be constructed far from water sources to avoid water contamination. The hole should also be covered with a plank or slab to avoid flies and unpleasant odor. Pit latrines are especially effective in areas with inadequate water supply. One of the disadvantages of pit latrine is that a new pit needs to be dug. Anytime one pit is filled up, it can get flooded during rainy season and can also become a breeding site for flies and mosquitoes. Construction of a pit latrine. Pit latrine. 2. Pail or bucket latrine. A bucket or pail latrine consists of a bucket covered with a slab. The bucket serves as a container for storing the urine and feces. Using a bucket latrine involves emptying the bucket at least once in 3 days in designated places, after which the bucket is then washed before being used again. This is a very poor method of sewage disposal. Pail or bucket latrine is no more in use in Nigeria. 3. Water closet, WC. This is also called flush toilet. It is the best method of sewage disposal available in Nigeria. The sewage that is disposed of into the toilet is flushed through a drain pipe into a sewage system outside the home. Adequate amount of water is needed for flushing. Therefore, this type of toilet can only be effective where there is adequate access to water. Construction of a water closet. 4. Composting toilet. This is a dry toilet. It is not common in Nigeria. In this type of sewage disposal, the water in the sewage is evaporated into the atmosphere through a vent system. The dried sewage is then converted into manure that can be used as fertilizer. Construction of a Figure 1.8. Composting toilet. Composting toilet. Activity 1.1. A. Which method of sewage disposal is being used in your house? B. Based on what you have learned about sewage disposal, do you think the method used in your house is effective? C. How do you think the government can improve proper disposal of sewage? D. The whole class should go on an excursion to a site where sewage is being converted to manure. 5b. Refuse and its disposal. Refuse is solid waste generated from human activities. Examples of refuse are used paper, food leftovers, bottles, nylon, etc. When refuse is not properly disposed, it causes environmental disaster like flooding. In most cases, the refuse is disposed of in a dustbin with lid in the home. When the dustbin is full, it is disposed of properly in the incinerator or landfill site. Some waste materials like plastic, glass, paper and metal can also be recycled and reused. Dustbin with lid. The following are used for refuse disposal. 1. Landfill. This is a piece of land for dumping refuse. It is also called dumping ground. The refuse is dumped on the site for some time before it is converted to manure, buried or burnt. This method of refuse disposal is the most common in Nigeria. Landfill site. 2. Incinerator. This is used for burning refuse through a process called incineration. Instead of burning the refuse in landfill sites, the refuse can be burnt in the incinerator. The burnt refuse is converted into air, gaseous pollutants, and ash that are then released into the atmosphere. 3. Composting. By composting, solid wastes and organic matter are broken down by aerobic microorganisms. The refuse is pre-sorted to remove materials that cannot be composted. The refuse is placed in long piles in the ground where it is degraded into a humus. After about 3 weeks, the product is ready for airing, blending with additives, bagging and marketing. Composting Unit 2. Nutrition. Nutrition is the science that deals with foods and their effects on human health. A person that studies nutrition is called a nutritionist. The foods we eat contain chemicals called nutrients. Nutrients provide the body with the energy it needs to carry out its everyday activities. They also protect the body against diseases and infections, and help the body to recover quickly from illness. A. Classes of food nutrients. Nutrients are classified into carbohydrates, proteins, fats and oil, vitamins, minerals and water. 1. Carbohydrates. These are nutrients that provide the body with energy. Foods that contain carbohydrates are called energy-giving foods. Carbohydrates are obtained from foods like yam, rice, cassava, bread, corn, pastries, foods made from flour, potatoes, pasta, cereals, etc. It is more healthy to get our daily carbohydrate intake from natural foods, e.g. yam and cassava, than from processed foods, e.g. pastry and candy. Energy-giving foods. 2. Proteins. These are the nutrients that build and repair body tissues. Foods that contain proteins are called bodybuilding foods. Proteins can be obtained from foods like beans, peas, eggs, groundnuts, meat, fish, etc. 3. Vitamins. These are the nutrients that protect the body against infections and diseases. They also enhance the body's use of carbohydrates, proteins and fats. Vitamins are either fat-soluble vitamins or water-soluble vitamins. Fat-soluble vitamins are vitamins that are soluble in fat. Examples are vitamins A, D, E and K. Water-soluble vitamins are vitamins that are soluble in water. Examples are vitamin C, folic acid, vitamins B1, thiamine, B2, riboflavin, B3, niacin, B6 and B12. 4. Minerals. These are metallic elements that are useful to the body. They are vital for strong bones and teeth. Minerals are classified into major elements and trace elements. Major elements are needed by the body in large amount. Examples are calcium, magnesium, potassium, sodium, phosphorus, chlorine and sulphur. Trace elements are needed by the body in small quantities. Examples are copper, fluoride, chromium, iodine, iron, zinc and selenium. Foods containing vitamins and minerals are called body-protecting foods. Minerals and vitamins can be obtained from milk, broccoli, dark green leafy vegetables, orange, pineapple, banana, pawpaw, sweet potato, etc. Like carbohydrates, foods that contain fats and oil are energy-giving foods. They also help the body to absorb fat-soluble vitamins. But unlike carbohydrates, fatty foods must be taken in small amounts, otherwise it can lead to obesity. Obesity is when there is too much fat in the body. Obesity can lead to high blood pressure, hypertension and diabetes. Fats may be obtained from animals, e.g. eggs, dairy products, meat, and vegetables, nuts, olives, avocados. 4. Water. This is the most essential of all the food nutrients. This is because nobody can survive without water for more than 8 to 10 days, while people can still survive without other nutrients for months. The human body is 65% water. An adult needs between 8 to 10 cups of water per day. Water helps in the transportation of other nutrients and it is necessary for the absorption of water-soluble vitamins. Water also helps the body to get rid of wastes in form of sweat and urine. Though water does not have any calorie value and therefore not an energy source, it is important for proper digestion and absorption of other food nutrients. B. Balanced diet. A balanced diet is a diet that contains all the 6 classes of nutrients in the right quantity. Example of a balanced diet meal is rice and beans with green vegetable or salad and a glass of water. Deficiency diseases can arise when any of the major food nutrients is missing in diet. Some of these deficiency diseases are discussed below. 1. Kwashiorkor. This is caused by inadequate intake of protein. Symptoms of kwashiorkor include swollen stomach, swollen ankles and feet, loss of teeth and hair, etc. A normal child and a child suffering from kwashiorkor. 2. Marasmus. This is caused by a severe deficiency in carbohydrate and protein. The affected child's weight is less than 60% of the normal body weight expected for that age. A child with marasmus will have a moon-shaped face, thin old man face, with loose skin of thighs and upper arms. His ribs and shoulder bones are also easily noticeable. A child suffering from marasmus. 3. Beriberi. This is caused by a deficiency in vitamin B1, thiamine. Symptoms of beriberi include rapid heart rate, swollen lower legs, shortness of breath during physical activities, vomiting, diarrhea, paralysis, etc. Beriberi can be treated by taking vitamin B1 supplement under doctor's advice. In the absence of this, the patient can be fed with foods rich in vitamin B1 like whole wheat. 4. Scurvy. This is caused by a deficiency in vitamin C, ascorbic acid. Symptoms of scurvy include rough skin, bleeding gum, loss of teeth, dry eyes and mouth, etc. Scurvy can be treated and prevented by taking citrus fruits, orange and lemon, tomato, papaya, guava, cabbage, carrot, etc. 5. Pellagra. This is caused by a chronic deficiency in vitamin B3, niacin. Symptoms of pellagra include insomnia, high sensitivity to sunlight, inflammation of the tongue, general body weakness, diarrhea, hair loss, etc. Treatment involves taking nicotinamide. Nicotinamide has the same vitamin functions as niacin. 6. Rickets. This is caused by a deficiency in vitamin D, phosphorus and calcium. Symptoms include tender bones and dental problems. To treat rickets, increase intake of calcium, phosphorus and vitamin D. Vitamin D can be obtained from sunlight. Unit 3. Drug abuse. Drug abuse is the excessive use of prescribed drugs or using drugs without doctor's prescription. Do not use drugs that are not prescribed to you by a doctor and never take overdose of prescribed drugs. Examples of drugs that have been abused are cocaine, heroin, marijuana, paracetamol, alcohol, etc. The following are some of the effects of drug abuse. A. Violent behavior. B. Mood swings. C. Increased risk of heart attack and stroke. D. Dizziness and fatigue. E. Loss of concentration. F. Depression and insomnia. Say no to